Hey, all you pilgrims on the Ascension journey. Hey, Travis Carper, Ascension Health Coach. Today, I wanted to read from my March newsletter that I put out to all the subscribers, and then a few days later, I posted it up on Facebook and stuff. So, and some of the other social media sites, just to get the dialogue rolling, really, on some of this. Um, you know, I wasn't even really going to talk about the China virus or anything, but I'll just read from here because that will lead us into what I really want to talk about. What I really want to talk about is like, some of the secret society, the the bloodline families, right? The elite bloodline families and how they intermarry and all of that. And eventually to have a dialogue about, yes, there's all kinds of crazy, satanic, dark stuff, right? That we've been going, I've touched upon in all the videos, right? But really, what I wanted to because I want to talk about how we're going to heal, and we're going to get to a place of even those people are brainwashed, so you can go down those rabbit holes all the way back 350,000 years to malevolent, extraterrestrials, right? But and also we're going to have to get to a place where we can even, they're probably brainwashed as well. So we've got to get to a place of unconditional love, is what I'm saying, and non-judgment. Sure, we're going to put people in jail. There's probably going to be people that are going to be put to death too, in all these military tribunals, right? So let me just read from here, and then let's get into all these different healing processes, right? Because the next one too that I do, the next video, is going to be on cognitive dissonance and a daily mindful cognitive behavioral solutions, right? That we can take on, these little tools that I'm going to give. But let's read from this March newsletter, Natural Antibiotics and April's Astronomical Alignment. Because this is cool too, right? There's all kinds of really good things. And I want you to consider that the fact that when there's dark stuff that we have to face, it's going to bring us together more, right? We're going to have to figure out how to heal it, how to heal ourselves, how to heal the planet, how to possibly heal others, right? Okay, so first, I hope you guys will consider immune boosting and oxygenating your biological body's cells for any type of seasonal pathogen, toxicities, or virus. And please don't have any fears about a flu virus. In the US, more people die from a common cold and flu during the flu season. In fact, just over this winter, I think it's more than 20,000. It's like, I, I don't know what the statistical figures are, but every year there's at least like 50,000 people that are unhealthy. And why we've been going through all of these videos is to try to get people holistically healthy, mind, body, and spirit, and emotional health. Okay? So to stay healthy. Okay. Year than any lab made or media hyped one. Now remember that, there's only 6 companies that basically own all of the world's media, right? And they probably use the old routers from, the 1850s. You guys can check into that too. Everybody, it's like the same narrative, right? That those same companies and the pharmaceutical companies, because there's only a certain amount of families and companies that own the world. There's like a dozen that own the world. So what would their narrative be? And we're going to get into that in the next video as well. Anyhow, this is most likely a backfired cabal organized ploy to crash the stock market, which it looks like it's doing it, right? But the QFS, the Quantum Financial System, and the GCRRV are rolling out as we speak. 209 countries are going back to the gold standard, the NESARA and JASARA. Look into that. The gold standard, it's so basically in the next 3 years, it's going to be pretty shaky because we have to restructure all the global economics, you know. So that is happening as we speak. There has been a plan, of course. Of course, if you want to think about it as in God would have a plan, or, you know, or if you're more spiritual or more in a unified sense, source, us, you know, we would have a plan, okay? So second, let's remember some natural antibiotics for our year-round holistic health, right? Okay, so 1, colloidal silver is a great alternative to antibiotics and has been used for centuries. This monatomic element suspended in a solution was actually discovered in the early 1900s by the founder of a pharmaceutical company right, who discovered it was very effective at killing the deadliest pathogens. Although the aristocratic Romans used to drink wine and water from silver pitchers, right? The elite. So anyways, colloidal silver is made up of silver atoms suspended in distilled water that doesn't contain any ions. These silver particles are so small that they are able to penetrate on a cellular level. They can therefore kill many different kinds of pathogens, including bacteria, fungal spores, parasites, and viruses. Not all created equal. Look into the parts per million and the nano ones, etc. So you don't want to get too small, though. What you want to get, but you do want to get a certain, like the 10 million parts per million or whatever. But if you get too small, then it crosses through the barriers. But I don't know, do your own research, I'd say. What's the one I use? Sovereign silver, you know. So anyhow, 2, garlic, of course. Garlic is a very strong antibiotic with antiviral, antifungal, and antimicrobial properties. It can help remove bad bacteria from the body. Aside from this, garlic is also very high in naturally occurring antioxidants that eliminate free radical damage, which therefore helps support the immune system. Garlic contains allicin, the component of garlic primarily responsible for killing and removing harmful bacteria. 3, let's remember our fermented foods. Kefir, kombucha, kimchi, miso, organic raw apple cider vinegar, etc. Here are some reasons why kefir, for example, can work against common foodborne pathogens such as Staphylococcus aureus and Escherichia coli, E. coli, gastrointestinal symptoms. Can cause upper respiratory tract infections, while E. coli can lead to gastrointestinal symptoms. These can be life-threatening to certain high-risk groups like children and seniors. Research from 2018 showed kefir prevented the growth of multiplication of these, or prevented the growth or multiplication of these types of bacteria in less than 3 days. Get the picture of how important or well-balanced and broad-spectrum gut microbiome is? Right, we've talked about it. 4, ginger root. I have been putting pieces of ginger root in my smoothies and in my teas every day. I am drinking a pu'er tea with slivers of ginger root right now. This is when I wrote it. Ginger is an all-natural antibiotic that works against a variety of bacterial strains as well as fungi, and as a natural remedy against viral infections such as common colds. Anyways, just to give you a little dip into, you know, there's natural antibiotics for year round, you know, just stay healthy and do a lot of structured water and a lot of slowing down and meditation so that you're not stressed out. Stress is probably the #1 reason why we get sick. And we're going to get into that too. We're going to get into that. Okay, third, on April, here's something interesting about astronomical alignment. Okay, third, on April 5th, 2020, Jupiter will be exactly conjunct Pluto at 24° Capricorn and open up a portal for even more photonic energetics to pour into our solar system with the center of the galaxy. A retrogradation gives us second conjunction at the same degree on June 29th, 2020. The final conjunction occurs at 22° Capricorn on November 12th, 2020. So Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto will all be in fairly close proximity for the vast majority of 2020. The last time Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto were this close in tropical Capricorn was 1894 BC, almost 2000 BC. The next time will be in 2755. No kidding, guys, CE. So this is a pretty rare event, pilgrims. I feel as if I'm already connecting to it. So of course, consider slowing down in the midst of global chaos and meditating in nature, staying well hydrated. I mean well hydrated with structured water, and sleeping even during the day if you can't sleep at night. Seriously, things are about to get real trippy. Major changes are occurring. Blessings, everyone. Know that you are supported in so many ways. Okay, March newsletter addendum. Okay, let's just talk about a little bit of this because it's going to lead us into let's say a more, to do your own research, to a more, holistic approach to these in your face, I'd say, for the next 3 years, which really it's going to help us come together, right? You always, when you have your own crisis or your own dark night of the soul, usually you come out of it, when you do come out of it constructively, unless you really, go the other way. But when you come out of it, you're better for it, right? Hello again, just a quick addendum to the March newsletter, as I found the paper trail and the money on the China SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. Anyhow, it's really looking like a 5G cover-up. China, in its rush to take the lead in the 5G race, had, just hear me out here, had by the end of 2019, and mostly within the last several months leading up to the COVID-19 outbreak, installed 130,000 5G antennas throughout the country, and at least 10,000 antennas installed in Wuhan alone. 10,000 antennas, and now they're being closer together, and we're talking about the millimeter microwaves, right? We're talking about, because 5G is not all the same either, okay? Let's remember that. Let's do our own research into that, because it's going to be 5 gigahertz all the way up into the hundreds. So there's kind of no regulation right now allocating these certain frequencies. And so there has been some studies a little bit, most of them are hidden. But we really need to get on top of this and really find out what is going on, because I'm going to read further about there's not only the satellites in geosynchronistic orbit, but there's lower ones, the mid-range ones, the MEOs. Let's read on. As a comparison, the USA only has approximately 10,000 5G antennas presently installed throughout the whole country. And the smart cities around the world, where some of the so-called outbreaks have happened, even the test trials in Iran, the cruise ships, they have that new medallion net on the cruise ships, which are connected to that mid-range satellites, right, that are lower. And they're beaming these frequencies, and you can do the research on all of this stuff. What is that company, the military weapons company that sells, anyways, it's like Radon or I don't know, something like that. They are the ones that came up with even the 2G. They're the ones that came up with these signals, and they sell these as weapons, as beaming technology weapons, and that's the ones they use to control people and crowds too. So this is all connected. We have to really start thinking about frequencies, right? That's what this whole 50 videos was all about. The higher frequency foods that we do, slowing down enough to have a higher vibe, higher frequency, getting in nature to get the circadian rhythm and Gaia, you know, and because it's connected to the cosmic rhythms, right, that are coming in because we're shifting into a fourth density. Anyways, the frequencies, okay? Where were we? The cruise ships, the medallion net, yeah, they're utilizing that. Most of the interviews with people who recover are people who have stayed home and away from those they built a hospital really fast in Wuhan too, and it was all Wi-Fi'd out. And those people got really sick. There's you know, I'm getting to it where there's probably another hidden agenda to it. I mean, they're going into a cryptocurrency and then all of the body part stuff that they do, right? Because they're into selling people's body parts and stuff like that. And so, you know, with that crackdown communist thing, they are, what were they? They were even throwing people in jail for like doing some kind of other spiritual thing. So anyways, look into that too. It's disgusting, I know, but we're going to get even more disgusted here in the future finding out about other things. So, okay, so most of the internet, why have I somewhere further away from these antennas and cell towers? Okay, that's the recovery. We're going to read on. I'll read. All the way from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation or the World Economic Forum to the 2 labs in Wuhan to the companies that own the communication networks such as SES S.A. with GEOs and newer MEOs and other companies, right? Because remember, there's only a certain amount of companies and a certain amount of families that own everything in the world. It's weird that everything is privatized. It's weird even bacteria is patented. Like even the good soil-based bacteria that we need, that needs to be on fruits and mushrooms and things that grow, is patented. You're living in a very strange slave world. Moving on. Anyways, whatever the probable nefarious reasons, the overwhelming marketplace for telecom, because you're talking trillions of dollars, and our electronic devices, or even, I wanted to give you a tip here. I've been putting all my phones plugged in, all the Wi-Fi router. We turned it off and plugged everything in through the Ethernet line, hard-lined everything, and put your cell phones on airplane mode as much as you can, just as a stress relief to the frequencies that aren't, the artificial frequencies we're working with right now aren't the correct frequencies we need to be working with, right? I mean, Tesla probably knows all about that, right? But there are appropriate, that's what we're hoping for in the future when they utilize these satellites, when there's going to be an appropriate frequency, right? At some point, instead of just freaking out and saying, oh, they're using, we're you know, it's New World Order, they're just gonna beam and kill us. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that can be changed, and I even saw an executive order where that administration right now, presently, are actually, if you read all the executive orders and the bills being passed, you'd be pretty amazed if you actually read them. One said something about their own satellites and tracking, and then public health in it. Anyways, I posted that too on Facebook. And so I want you guys to realize that there's a lot of positive things happening at the same time. The only way why people are in fear is because of the narrative, because fear, and we're going to get into it in the next video about the sympathetic, fight or flight, and the hormones that go into your body, why that would be a definite, divide and conquer scenario for, the people that own all that stuff, right? Where were we? Okay, anyways, whatever the probable and nefarious reasons, or even an elaborate cover-up to debunk the Ascension symptoms. Also, there's, just to have a global fear and shift your attention over to that while we're going to get into it. It's just as smart to educate ourselves on the EMF pollution as well as taking on meditative practice in nature-based, like nature, something like walking in nature, sitting in nature, hiking in nature, meditating in nature, right? Sitting in the park, the backyard, your backyard, or go to the park. Natural circadian rhythm that is connected to the cosmic clock. Okay, so radio waves, TV waves, and current above ground electrical grid systems are all archaic and outdated. There are, however, appropriate technologies waiting in the wings and coming off the patented shelves shortly. So have faith that we will persevere and get through this. Here is a video link. I've already done one on EMF pollution and, the dirty electromagnetic fields, microwaves, and our RNA, DNA. There's another kid that did, I think it's called, what was it called? EMF Trojan, the Trojan Horse. Look for that, the conscious resistance video from Derek Bros. Look into that. There seems to be a connection for sure, whether it is the 5G frequency exacerbating the viral replication or just the frequency ranges being used, okay? There's also some kind of cryptocurrency in China they were going to do too. But whatever the reason, okay? We know it was made in a lab. Most of these viruses are made in labs, and then usually the other lab that it's associated with, if you follow the paper trail, already made a vaccine, and then they're just waiting to put it out. Or the vaccines that people already took, it's a speculative conversation here, but there's a lot of deductive leads, right? Okay, so whatever the reason, it's nefarious, right? Okay, so in epigenetic health, we talk about methyl groups and how the environment can change methyl bonds to the cells, such as various stresses caused by electromagnetic frequencies. The EMF pollution is definitely not healthy for any biological species. Check plant life under power lines and transformers. Most research is buried, a lot of it, well, no, you can find a whole bunch on all these frequencies and how bad they are. I just want everybody to be aware of all that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're unhealthy. I already talked about it. You're in your car, you're in your house, you're at work, a lot of artificial stuff going on. Even the lighting and all the way that they built a square box house, and the electrical goes all the way around you. You're held in then. Your spiritual, your biofield physiology is held in a box. I have to say this stuff again and again and again. Okay, sorry, I'm getting cramps. Where was I? Okay. I'm sure that more will come to light as we go further down the rabbit holes. Once again, with any speculative conversation starter with deductive leads, I encourage us all to do more research and meditate in nature. For now, I consider getting more informed and staying as holistically healthy as possible as we go through the darker things coming to light. And of course, the Alliance, the White Hats, or Through the Looking Glass Collect with a Q-tive, etc., would counter-opt the fractured global cabal's EMF corona eugenics plan. Eugenics, just another note here, that Bill Gates' father too was really into eugenics and stuff. So that's why he always, on the videos, he's always, on his interview, in his interviews, he's always saying, oh, we've got to get into this, the vaccines and stuff, and we got a population control. And you just have to watch and listen. You know, I remember listening to, what was it, Bush Sr. when, right, I think he was interviewed when he was president, and he actually said, you people, I mean, he got really upset in the interview, and he's like, you people don't understand how the world works, and we're, you know, and it's like, you're saying that it's okay to kill. I mean, basically, I was looking at him, and I was thinking, you know, wow, even these people are indoctrinated in all these secret societies. So we're going to have to get, at some point, we're going to have to have unconditional love for that as well. Where was I? I want to close this out. Co-op, yeah. So the alliances co-opted it for Operation Levi, and all the mass arrests that are happening right now. You know, there's a lockdown in Italy, of course, because the Medici family, and look into those bloodlines. They married Rothschild. They marry everybody. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars people are worth, you know, doing all this stuff. And then of course, when you do all that, you have to buy legitimate businesses, right? Like fashion industry, you know, look into that. And in the farmers, anyways, it's all connected. And so even in the charities, or the, you know, the Roman Catholic Church too, that has to funnel all that mafia money too, right? So these families are connected to all of that. It's all connected. We're cleaning up the world right now, and it's going to take some doing. It's going to take some time, some linear time. Mass arrests, and it'll be videoed too. They're doing the military tribunals. Then we'll have, like, go back to the gold standard and stuff. That's going to be, that transition is going to be tough though, tougher than I think it's meant to be. You know, that's going to be a 3-year. You know, so anyways, let's consider getting really informed about EMF pollution, the 5G, the millimeter microwaves, the GEOs and the MEOs, these satellites and what they're doing. If we can get them regulated and get some studies out for us, for public health, right? Our holistic healing has just begun. Blessings, everyone. Yeah, that's a lot to take in, but I wanted to say that because for the next videos that I'm gonna be making is about how we're gonna deal with this. You know, what topics like transpersonal psychology, spiritual psychology, and you know, cognitive dissonance. There's a lot. I've touched upon it in all the other videos too. That, you know, saying that there's going to be a dark transition. It's going to be in our face. So. Actually, don't worry about the China virus as much as it's being blown way out of proportion. Take this time to get holistically healthy. You know, take this time to get into your passions. Take this time, like I'm doing, just sit out here in nature, right? You know, go for a bike ride. You know, just suggestions. You know, it's really it's going to be a good time for, I mean, we're slowing down too. Oh, the Earth too. If you've ever actually noticed the some of the global weather charts, you know, you can see carbon dioxide die out and stuff. I mean, that's, you know, so maybe it'll really make us think about what we're doing, right? And we can come together. There are a lot of good-hearted people, more good-hearted people on this planet at this time, right now, than, you know, not I want to say you know, kind of like the social conditioned, brainwashed, satanic type people. a lot more of us. And so now we need to start getting in unison here to like really get going on this. You know, the rest of us. I mean, there's a, you know, they're cracking down all over the place. You know, there's even military in London right now. They're cracking down. They're probably going to throw a whole bunch of people in jail over there. Anybody that's got the says they got the coronavirus, like the ministers, and you know, like the royal family, Prince Andrew, Trudeau, Tom Hanks. You know, all those guys are being arrested. Is what's going on. Okay, so. What else? These are getting long. I just wanted to really, you know, stay hydrated. It's fine. It's fine to slow down. We needed it. We needed this. We need this linear time to slow down. I've always talked about it. Okay. Blessings, everyone. Stay hydrated with structured water. Look into all kinds of different holistic health modalities, take on some cool practices. I had a really long yoga stretch this morning. It helps. Yoga was set up to, so that your body can sit for a long time and meditate. That's why it's there. Okay, enough said.